All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight. It is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. If you're here live, welcome to the show. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat regarding the topic or anything else, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. If you're here on the replay, hey, you didn't miss anything. Most, if not all, of my live streams have tremendous replay value, evergreen content type of replay value. So stick around because I have 4 more very interesting Reddit dating stories to go over with you folks here tonight. I love dissecting these stories and giving my advice on what the best course of action is to take to give yourselves the best possible shot of finding true love, because true love still exists in the modern world. And by the way, this is what a real Shure SM7B sounds like. Please let me know what you think about the sound. I enhanced it a little bit today. I added a little feature through my audio interface, my Focusrite 4i4 audio interface. I added the air mode, so let me know if it sounds nice and clear. Actually, you know what? Let me test it out. Give me a second. Give me a second here. The notification has gone out. Let's see what it sounds like. Replay value, evergreen content type of replay value. So stick around because I have 4 more. Hey, it sounds good. All right. Sounds real good. And the notification has gone out. Let me also check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that it is rolling smoothly. And it absolutely is. All right. Here's how tonight's going to go, and I'm going to get right to it. Looks like my lady is here. Hey, babe, are you not going to your dark event tonight, or are you going to it later? Just curious. And she's in the chat. My lady's in the chat. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, welcome to the show. And Anna Ram. I keep screwing that up. Anna Ram's in the chat as well, too. And same with Lewis Fuller. Welcome to the show. All right. So here's how tonight's show is going to go. We're going to get right to it. I have 4 Reddit postings I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over the first 2, take a break, and then come back with the last 2. Tonight's topic is attachment issues plus more dating advice. One more time, attachment issues plus more dating advice. The first posting I'll be going over here regarding the title is it's from the subreddit dating_advice, and the title is anyone else not able to hook up because they get attached and hurt. Wow, anyone else not able to hook up because they get attached and hurt. After that, we're going to go over to the subreddit relationships, and we're going to read the topic, girlfriend 27F doesn't want me 26M to be romantic in bed, just treat her roughly. Wow. One more time, girlfriend who's 27 years old, the 27-year-old female, doesn't want me, a 26-year-old male, to be romantic in bed, just treat her roughly. This is a very, very interesting one. So you're not going to want to miss this, and I have my own thoughts regarding this. And this is what the ladies seem to want nowadays. Why? Because as I've been saying, women have been liberated, they become more empowered, and they're just not, let's put it as politely as possible, they're not getting off in the ways they used to get off nowadays. I'll share more about that when we get to that one. Then we're going to take a break. After the break, we're going to come back and we're going to go to the subreddit social skills. And the topic is, does anyone else just not have the energy to make or maintain relationships, platonic or romantic, anymore? One more time. Does anyone else just not have the energy to make or maintain relationships, platonic or romantic, anymore? And last but not least, to end up the show, we're going to go over to the Purple Pill Debate subreddit, one of my most favorite subreddits on Reddit. And the topic is strategic pluralism, the scientific name for alpha fucks, beta bucks. One more time, strategic pluralism, the scientific name for alpha fucks beta bucks. And baby, if you're not here to catch this one live, you're going to want to go back and at least view this final Reddit posting because it'll say a lot about something that, you're not directly experiencing, but someone in your family is experiencing. I think you know what I'm talking about. You're not going to want to miss it. All right. All right. Let's see. It starts at 7 p.m. Okay, so my lady will be going to her dart event at 7 p.m. She's got a little bit of time to catch the first part of the show. Thank you for being here. How's the audio sounding so far? Is it sounding okay? Let me check this out one more time. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to mute for a second. I'm going to mute. Wow. I have got to say, turning on the air mode on my Focusrite 4i4 audio interface has tremendously enhanced the sound. I'm really, really impressed, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts if you're here live or if you're on the replay. Let me know in the chat, in the comment section, what your thoughts are regarding the sound. Okay. So Anna Rom says, that's a problem. Anna, are you talking about the one where his girlfriend doesn't want him to be romantic in bed, just treat her roughly? Oh, I'm gonna save my thoughts regarding this when we get to it. It's gonna be the second one, so stick around for that. But I really understand what this guy is going through. And I really don't blame him because I feel exactly the same way that he does. But let's get right to it. Let's get to the first posting here. We're going to switch on over to the browser screen. My lady says, sounds amazing, love. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you think so. Yeah. It's a real SM7B, baby. It's not a fake one like some other content creators use out here. Speaking of the SM7B sock account, where are you tonight? Where are you? Are you gonna keep on trolling me, SM7B sock account? If you don't know what a sock account is, it's a fake Google account. It's a trolling account, but they've been pretty cool. So anyway, they come on in. We'll say hello. All right, so this is from the subreddit dating_advice. And once again, the original poster's title is anyone else not able to hook up because they get attached and hurt. One more time. Anyone else not able to hook up because they get attached and hurt. Let's read what the original poster had to say. So second date happened with me and this girl. It should be with this girl and I. You got to learn proper grammar. These damn millennials and post-millennials, the Gen Zers, the I generation, their grammar and spelling is freaking atrocious. Look at what these damn devices have done to our youth, our modern youth. They are not learning grammar and spelling skills properly. I digress, okay? Took her out to ice cream and then went back to my place to make her dinner. That sounds really cool. That's awesome, man. We went to my bedroom, didn't have sex, but we made out for an hour and did a lot of stuff with our clothes on. We call that dry humping. Back in the days when I was younger, if you were doing that with a chick, it's called dry humping. And it is the quickest and easiest way to give you something called blue balls. Have you folks heard of blue balls? Blue balls are the worst thing you can give a man. Blue balls. After we got done, we cuddled in bed for a bit. So after you got done dry humping, you cuddled in bed, giving you more blue balls, furthering your blue ball syndrome. Okay. All right. The next day, I ask her out for a third date, and she says that she isn't ready for a relationship. Interesting. And you think it's because there's something wrong with her. I got news for you, brother. Stick around. I've been at this for months now and have been rejected countless times and was numb to it. But for whatever reason, this just stung so bad. Was wondering if it was the hookup component that made me feel some attachment to her. Anyone else feel the same? No, dude. Dude, it was how you were showing up, in my opinion. Dude, you were acting like a big freaking sissy, and you weren't acting like a man. And she didn't feel safe and comfortable to open up to you, bro. Okay? And she felt like you were one of those types of guys that was going to try to lock her down into a commitment, and you don't do that. Your job as a man is very simple when you first meet a woman. Okay? You hang out, you have fun, and you hook up. I got that from my good buddy, Coach Corey Wayne, and he's right. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. Do not think about the commitment. That is the woman's job to figure out the commitment, all right? You're just supposed to show her a great time, hang out with her, have some great conversation, make out a bit. And, dude, if you were making out with her and you didn't have sex, like you said, then obviously, she wasn't feeling comfortable with you, and maybe you rushed it too quickly. Okay? Dude, you got to sit down on the couch for a little bit. If you brought her over, turn on the TV, have some stimulating conversation with her, see if she moves closer to you, and you need to slowly seduce her, brother. You probably saw her and you're like, oh, she's hot. I want to bang her. And she seems cool too. I want to bang her. I want to lock her down, before any other guy can get into that BJJ, right? This is what happened with this guy. He tried to lock her down. He was coming off weak, needy, desperate, and insecure. And women can pick that up just like that. And that's why, bro. That's why you're getting rejected over and over and over again, dude, because you're acting like a BFP, a big fucking pussy, and you're not acting like a man. Plain and simple. Let's see what the comments section had to say regarding this. Okay? See, are there any comments in the chat here? Let's see. Anna says, yes, that one. I understand you and your Lord and Savior Almighty, Coach J-Rom, Anna. You have an interesting relationship. It's what you folks enjoy doing. You're into that kink stuff. You're into that rough sex most of the time. I'm not saying I don't like it rough every now and then, but for me, I really enjoy making love. I really enjoy feeling close to my lady and the emotional bond. Sure, at times you're going to be a little bit more passionate than other times, but sometimes it's just nice to snuggle up and make love and slow and steady and look into her eyes and tell her how beautiful she is, right? And tell her how special she is, right? When you're having sex, it's okay to say that to her. She wants to hear that, right? Okay. But you don't say that like on a first date before you get to sex, and you don't say that even during sex. The first few times. You want to wait for the woman to express how she feels about you first, and then you can slowly open up to her. And you always want to express your feelings just a little bit less than she expresses hers. You never want to express your feelings with a woman at a greater level than she feels or expresses for you, because that's going to turn her off. It's going to make her feel smothered. It's going to make her feel like you're trying to control her, and it'll scare her away. It'll turn her off. That's truth of the matter. That's what's happening to this guy here. All right, let's see here. Yup, I don't do one-night stands. I do 1 year, waste my fucking life. Well, we've all done that. And what you mean by that is, hey, you were dating someone and it seemed to be going well, but at the end of the day, it didn't work out. Sometimes it takes a year to figure that out. Live and learn. Try 1 decade, brah. That happens too. That usually happens when you marry the wrong person. Typically, women will marry the wrong guy as they get into their 30s because they're trying to settle down because they wasted their 20s, hooking up with the Chads, the Tyrones, going to college, getting a degree, getting settled in their careers, and then they're trying to rush to lock someone down before their biological clock expires. And at that point, The guys they want when women reach their 30s, the guys they want younger women, and the only guys that will settle with these women are the beta males, which the women really don't want. But they settle for the beta males because they want to have kids before their biological clock expires, and the beta males are also great providers, right? And then after a decade or so, well, it's just not working out, right? And they probably have cheated on the beta male 3 or 4 times in between, or not in between, during the marriage, right? And then they finally just leave, right? It was never there in the first place. Try 1 decade, bruh. And all I'm left with is a court case. Well, you gotta properly vet the people that you're dating, and don't marry someone for the wrong reasons. And again, a lot of times nowadays, women in their early 30s, okay, are settling for the beta male provider because they want to have kids before their clock runs out, or their biological clock expires, and because the guys that they really want don't want them anymore because they waited too long. I mean, this is just going to happen over and over and over again until ladies start to realize you got to make a choice, right? You got to go career or you got to go family, right? Now, you can actually have both, okay? I mean, nothing wrong with a woman, going to college, getting a degree, but at the same time, dating someone. And then guess what? Once you graduate college, get into your career, you can start working, and so can your husband. And then you start planning your family, and you figure it out from there. But a lot of women in their 20s, they'll just go and ride the carousel. They'll ride the CC. You know what the CC is. They'll ride the carousel because they don't want to have that commitment, because they feel it's going to stray away from their studies. It's going to have them stray away from their studies, which is what I'm trying to say, and prevent them from getting the job that they want and getting settled into the job that they want. And then they realize they screwed up, when they get into their 30s, and their options are limited, and they have to settle for someone they really don't want. Oof. Hey, you live and learn, right? At least it wasn't 20. Aha. Well, being with the wrong person for 10 years is much better than being with the wrong person for 20 years. But why even invest a year or a month if it doesn't feel right? You folks have to do a better job of properly qualifying and or vetting your prospects before you even continue dating them, let alone marrying them. Come on. How about 27? That's a long time. I mean, if you're with someone for 27 years and you go through divorce, I don't understand that. Why would you stick around with someone for 27 years if it didn't feel right? Okay? And all of a sudden, it doesn't stop feeling right. Okay? It's either going to be there from the very beginning, or it will never be there. What's happening here is that these women settled with these men because they were providers, because the guys they really want didn't want them, because they waited till their 30s to find the right guy, right? And now they're like, okay, our kids are all grown and they're all out of the house, and now, I really want to find the Chad that I've been missing and craving, right? So now you got these women in their 40s and even early 50s that are still Chad chasing after they divorced their husband, the beta male provider that they settled for, when, the men they really wanted didn't want them because they waited too long. They should have done this in their 20s, not in their 30s. Let's see here. One more reply. Haha, OMG, I so totally relate. I get into year-long relationships and then try to move them into something more serious, but they never want to progress anything forward. Now, this screen name or this username is April and June. I think this is a female. Sometimes the men don't want to move forward, but a lot of times it's the men that try to push it forward much faster than the woman is ready. If you guys just take your woman out, hang out, have fun, hook up, if the woman's really into you at about the 2 to 2.5 month period, 3-month period at the latest on average, the woman will ask you, how do you feel about me? Where do we stand? We've been going out for a while. Where do we stand? How do you feel about me? She's going to try to get you to profess your love to her, right? and she's going to bring up the relationship. At that point, if you're ready for the commitment, if that's what you wanted, then you talk about it. They'll bring it up in a roundabout way and you'll say, baby, what do you mean? How do I feel about you? Well, we've been having a wonderful time. I enjoy how things are going. I want to keep it going if you do, right? And then she'll say, no, how do you really feel about me? I mean, we've been going out for a while. Would you like to see this progress further? Yeah, baby, how about you be a little clearer with me and let me know what you mean, because I'm not good at reading woman code. Just give it to me straight, baby. What's really on your mind? Let's talk about it, right? Then she'll tell you, well, I'd like to make this official. What do you think? Oh, baby, I thought you'd never ask. Yeah. I mean, I love how this is going. If you're ready to make it official, I'm right there with you, I'm just going with the flow and enjoying what we have. And if you want to keep enjoying it along with me and make it official, so be it. But it's not going to change the way I feel about you. It'll probably just make our feelings grow stronger. And that's all. Plain and simple. But these guys nowadays are trying to lock women down way too fast because they have the scarcity mindset that if they don't lock her down soon, some other guy is gonna steal her from them. And the bottom line is, even if the woman decides to be with you, if she really wants to go with another guy, she can. So you guys should never worry about that in the first place. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Let's see. Anna Rom says, don't get me wrong, I like that stuff too, but from that millennial standpoint, she probably only wants it rough because he's a beta outside the bedroom. If he's a beta outside the bedroom, then how in the hell is he going to be able to, bang her good in a rough way? Typically, beta males suck at sex. They suck at everything besides making money. If he's good enough to have rough sex with her, then he's an alpha male that should be good enough to be with her. So, I don't know. I'm not buying that there. We'll have to look at the story when I get to it right after this one here. I believe it's the next one. Anna Rom says, just an opinion without the story. Okay, fair enough, Anna, fair enough. Anna Rom furthermore says, my parents were together for 24 years when they divorced because I asked them to. You asked your parents to get a divorce? Oh, why in the world would you do that? I mean, it's not your decision anyway. It's their decision, right? Okay. Let's continue reading a few more comments here. Felt this in my soul, man. Sammy, please. This made me laugh while sobbing. Okay, let's get some real comments. Started to feel like after 3 wasted 1-year relationships, one-night stands are better. Well, here's the thing. The truth of the matter is every relationship starts off as casual. Any way you look at it, it starts off as casual. Okay? Even though I've always wanted a relationship, okay? I've always gone into it, with an open mind and an open heart and open soul. And I just let nature take its course, and whatever's meant to be is meant to be. And I have absolutely zero expectations. Just like with my lady that I'm with today, I had zero expectations when I met her. I was cool, calm, and collective and relaxed, right? And because of that, she felt safe and comfortable to let her guard down and just feel free to be herself. And it just took off like a rocket. It was an instant connection. But I wasn't like, salivating all over her when I met her. I wasn't, acting all thirsty or weak or needy like a lot of these guys are. So, I just honestly think that, people that say one-night stands are better, I just think you folks are expecting too much initially out of relationships. Maybe you should look at going into a relationship as a one-night stand for the rest of your life. If it goes past one night, then it was meant to be. If it doesn't, then so be it. It just wasn't meant to be, right? Sometimes that can happen. Sounds like you folks have a lot of expectations, which is why you're not getting what you want. Let's see here. Same, never had one, and I'm 33, female. You never had a relationship? Or you've never been able to hook up? Okay. You got to be more specific here. Yes, I had to stop trying to find someone, to be honest. I had 3 guys in a row several months apart do something similar, and I felt so low. It was my first attempt at anything since before the pandemic, so I just decided to work on myself instead, and hopefully someone comes along. Sorry, this happened to you, original poster. Okay. Well, the bottom line is the original poster was a weak, needy, desperate, and insecure man. But he's not saying that because he's embarrassed to. Okay? Like if this woman, didn't want to see him again after 3 dates, that's telling me that he was just acting like a beta male. That's it. Bottom line. And it's not that, she's not able to hook up because she gets attached and hurt. It's because you were trying to lock her down right away. You were coming on way too strong, bro. And you just weren't, kicking back and letting her come to you. That's the bottom line. And these are young adults in their late teens and early 20s that lack experience, so they don't even know how to respond to this. The original poster comments in the comment section and says, the girl literally said while we were watching a stand-up special that she self-sabotages. So maybe that's a red flag. I just ignored because she was hot. Dude, that's what she told you. She told you that because she was trying to just turn you off because she wasn't into you. She was trying to let you down easy. You see what she said? So maybe that's a red flag. I just ignored because she was hot. Dude, that was not the problem. You lost your shit. You basked in her glory. You put her on a pedestal. Dude, you tried to lock her down before any other guy could lock her down. A woman that's that hot, like you're making her come off, she was probably really hot, gets a lot of attention, so why should she choose you when she's got 100 other guys waiting in the queue? Dude, you displayed weakness. Dude, you displayed your insecurities. You were trying to lock her down. Dude, pathetic, man, pathetic. A FWB of mine once told me early on that he was deathly afraid of ruining the way things were between us. Later, I learned that he was telling me exactly what he was doing ahead of time once he popped up dating someone else. Yeah, because when you're with someone, it's hard. People don't want to hurt anyone. Normal, decent people, when they're with each other, if one side's not feeling it, okay, they don't want to hurt the other side. So they're not going to tell you the exact truth of why it's not working out. There's going to be some excuse, or they're going to ghost you or something. And later on down the road, if you cross paths and you both have moved on to other people, at that point, sure, maybe you'll find out the truth, but it really doesn't matter at that point because you both have moved on. Exactly. They always warn what they're going to do later. Well, here's the funny thing. Women, will give you subtle hints when you're doing the wrong thing or when you're turning them off. And they'll try a couple of times on the first date to give you subtle hints. Dude, you're turning me off. They're not going to say that, but they're going to try to get you to do something different if what you're doing, is too much, right? They'll try to change the subject or whatever, right? If you don't pick up on that and turn it around, it's going to be game over. It's going to be game over. Is this the same with, I'm just going to hurt you in the future, let's just have a break? You are too good for me. You are way out of my league. Then his homie at work suddenly had a BF who he says exactly like him, but more romantic. Okay, I'm hurting and confused. Listen, if people are telling you, if they're trying to give you a reason, a drawn-out reason, overly drawn-out reason on why it's not working out, they're just trying to let you down easy so they don't hurt you. They're just not into you. There are 2 choices when 2 people meet. It's either there or it isn't. Attraction is a must and not a choice. And it'll be there within 3 seconds or less when you first lay eyes on each other, or it will never frickin' be there. Everything else is just an excuse. If people weren't ready to date, they wouldn't meet you. Let me repeat that again. If people weren't ready to date, they wouldn't meet you. Plain and simple, right? Let's read one more and then go to the next Reddit posting. The fact that you're ignoring red flags because girls are hot is going to be an issue for you if you're looking for a relationship. Yeah, because you're coming off weak, needy, desperate, and insecure, and you're putting her on a pedestal, and basically you're telling her something no different than 100 other guys are telling her. Oh, you're so hot. I'm going to ignore all the red flags because you're so hot. That's why she didn't have sex with you, dude. Because she knew you were just another beta male. And she gets approached by hundreds, well, not each day, probably tens of beta males each day, hundreds of beta males each week or each month. Hot women like that get approached by tons of beta males, and it's an instant turnoff. You probably got a date with her because maybe you met her online, or maybe when you first met her, you were acting alpha, but when you brought her to your place, you were acting so beta. You were like a kid in a candy store, bro, and you weren't being a man. And it turned her off. You were no different than any other beta male that was trying to get in her pants, brother. That's all. That's all, man. Start looking for quality of character if you want a relationship. Well, who's to say that this hot woman wasn't a good woman? Just because she's hot doesn't mean she's a bad person, okay? It means she gets a lot of attention and she has a lot of choices, so why should she choose you? Especially if you're a thirsty beta male like the majority of their guys that approach her. Plain and simple. All right, let's go to the next one here. But let me check out the chat real quick here. Anna Rom says, yep, they asked what I wanted for my 20th birthday, and I told them I wanted them to get divorced. My father treated my mom like shit, so I wanted her to be happy. I wanted her to go be happy, Well, okay, well, ultimately it's your parents' choice and not yours, but if you felt the need to tell them back then, okay. All right, so be it. Anna furthermore says, so they agreed because my dad had already been cheating on my mom with other women. Wow, and your mother stuck around during that? Maybe for the kids, including you. Okay. Wow. Sorry to hear about that, Anna. Glad you turned out okay. All right. We are at 32 minutes. Let's get to the next Reddit posting, which is what I'm trying to say here. This is from the subreddit relationships, and the title is Girlfriend 27F doesn't want me 26M to be romantic in bed. Just treat her roughly. One more time, girlfriend who's a 27-year-old female doesn't want me, this guy who's writing this is a 26-year-old male, to be romantic in bed, just treat her roughly. And looky below. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of our relationships. Why? It wasn't bad. But guess what? As always, Coach Eli has a backup, and let's get the backup right now. There it is. There's the backup. Let's read what was stated and try to even figure out why it was removed by the moderators of the subreddit relationships. My girlfriend of 3 months really likes being manhandled in bed and wants that to be the normal for us. Well, I'm really not like that. I can be dominant in the bedroom, but I am dominant in a loving and caring way. And I can still turn my woman on to orgasm without having to be like overly rough. I'm not really into the overly rough stuff. It doesn't always have to be vanilla either, but the overly rough stuff typically happens with women that have gone through abusive issues and shit like that. We'll get more into that in a bit. I certainly enjoy rough sex, but I also want to have gentle, slow burn sex too from time to time. Brother, I don't blame you for that. Big round of applause. I feel the same way. Yeah. I feel the same way, brother. I love all of that romantic shit of looking into each other's eyes, making out slowly, boring, missionary, etc. Actually, it's not boring. The romantic, lovey-dovey stuff is actually more of a turn on to me. You know why? Because it's real. I've never, ever felt the need to just bang a woman just to bang a woman. That's why I've always been in relationships, because I really enjoy being intimate with a woman that I bond with emotionally. And for me, I'm an empath. I'm probably also a sapiosexual, or a, what's the other word? There's another word where I'm more about what's on the inside than the outside. I've always been about the romantic bond, or the emotional bond. And if there's no emotional connection there, like, I don't get turned on by a woman. Sure, she needs to be attractive physically too, at least attractive enough. But even if she's hot and there's no emotional bond, it doesn't matter to me. So I get this guy. There's nothing wrong with him. He's a straight man. I get where he's coming from. This is just not the right woman, because she's got issues to be this way. Because most women would love this. A combination of both, rough and soft. That's how my woman loves it. And she actually likes more of the making love stuff. So, yeah, I love it. My girlfriend doesn't have that much patience for slow sex, though. Wow. Well, I mean, does she wear the pants in the relationship? Is she more of a masculine acting type of woman? What type of work does she do? How was her upbringing? Did her mother wear the pants in the marriage with her father? Was her father, more of a feminized man? This woman sounds like she's more, she exudes more masculine energy than feminine energy. Wow. She wants to start slow, but after a few minutes wants me to start biting her, pulling her hair, restraining her limbs, all of that. Going slow kills her vibe after a certain point. Sounds like she's been with a bunch of chads that tore her up, brother. And right now it seems like, she wants to find a decent guy that'll settle with her, but she can't get off with a normal, decent guy the normal way, because she's used to the chads and Tyrones. Tearing up her pelvis, brother. That's the truth of the matter. It is. That's what I think is happening here. Again, it is a lot of fun, but I do not want this to be the only way to have sex. I've tried to plead my case, but she finds slow sex to be boring and not stimulating enough. She wants to feel physically overwhelmed, or it doesn't work for her. She wants to feel like you're a man and like you're dominant, and she wants to feel like she can trust your masculine core, right? Because she's probably been with some really weak, pathetic beta males. That's the truth of the matter. But she's also probably, been with the Chads and Tyrones. Anna Rom says, maybe he's doing the slow stuff wrong. He could be. He could be. I mean, hopefully he's going down and, using the turbo tongue. I've been known to have the turbo tongue. I mean, hopefully he knows how to use the tongue and his fingers, and, nibbling other parts of the body. I'm not trying to say too much, because I don't want to, this channel's not monetized yet, but it will be soon. But you get what I'm saying, right? No, I get what you're saying, Anna. I get what you're saying. Let's go to the next page here. Also, going rough all the kind of makes me feel I can't relax. I think you meant to say all the time. Also, going rough all the, you left out a word, time, kind of makes me feel I can't relax during sex, since she wants to constantly feel like she's being manhandled. So my head is always like, is this rough enough for her? Sometimes I just want us to hold each other and kiss slowly. Yeah, dude, I don't blame you for that. I honestly, I mean, if I was in this situation, that would be the last time I would see this woman. I would say, look, I mean, I really like you, and I'm enjoying my time with you. And yes, I do like it rough at times, but I also like to slow it down. I would really like to get to know you, and sometimes even just make beautiful, slow love. But if you're not into that, let me know, and we can end this, and you can go and find someone that is going to be a better fit for you, and same for me, right? And if you're man enough to call her out on that, more than likely she will like be so turned on, then she'll let you more so make love there. Kind of sounds like to me that he was being a beta male. Kind of sounds like he was being a little bit more beta and she was being a little more alpha. Let's see. I want to clarify that we have a grand old time in bed, but I do want a bit more than just fuck me hard. I do too. That's why I'm with my woman. Because we have a good balance of that. And most of the time, it's making love. Sometimes we do it a little bit rougher, but I'll tell you honestly, I love the emotional bond. I get more turned on with the slower, emotionally bonding stuff than the rough stuff. I don't feel the need like to completely dominate and destroy my woman's pelvis just to get off. I just enjoy the sensual stuff. And I think my woman does too. Actually, I know she does, or she wouldn't be with me. Shit. You know what I mean? How to find a balance? Well, maybe she's not the right woman for you, dude, or maybe you're just being a little too beta and you don't know how to handle it. How to agree to do it rough sometimes, but slowly others. Well, dude, you talk with her about it and you see what she's open to, right? See her reaction. Honestly, I think this woman is not the right woman for you. Even if you're an alpha male, which I don't think you are, it doesn't sound like you are, but even if it was me in this situation, I'm an alpha male. Even if it was me in this situation, I would talk with her one time, and if she gave me any shit about it, that'd be the last time I would see her, and I would tell her it's not going to work. We are looking for two totally different things in the bedroom. I mean, the sex is great, but, I want something more than that. Okay? Or incorporate a little bit of both in some sessions. That you should be doing that, incorporating a little bit of both. And that's how I usually do it. It's a combination of a little bit of roughness and some slowing it down and snuggling up and then taking some breaks and cuddling together. I mean, you just got to go with the flow. You could try mixing the slow and the hard. Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying there, Anna. Thank you so much for sharing that in the chat. TLDR, GF wants only rough sex, but I don't. How to find a balance. I pretty much explained it as I went through. All right, let's go back to the original posting here because the comments are still there. We are at 42 minutes. We're making good time tonight. This show may only be an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. And I can rest and relax a bit while my ladies at darts, and then afterwards we can talk a little bit and get to bed early. Excellent. All right. Let's go to the comments section here. In addition to the good advice here, I will say there cannot be a balance if there's not a willingness to try. You're clearly willing to do what she likes. It is up to her if it is more important to have rough sex and rough sex only or to put in some effort to making this relationship work. Typically, women that are only into rough sex have had emotionally traumatizing issues. Maybe they've been through sexual abuse. Maybe they've been through some kind of abuse in life involving a man, typically, their father or a brother or a past relationship partner. And so that's what's causing her to only want the dominance, right? So maybe this woman is emotionally traumatized and she hasn't worked through that trauma, and this is her way of working through it, or this is her way of masking it. So it may not be the right person for you, in my opinion. There could be a balance with time and growth. I opted for rough sex at the beginning of my relationships because it helped me separate out emotions and the act itself. The big difference, I think, is that I realized what I was doing and recognized that it was a problem. I don't know if your partner... Okay, you got to spell it properly. I don't know if your... It's not... I don't know if you are partner... Your there is Y-O-U-R. When you put the Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, it stands for you are. The way you wrote it, I don't know if you are partner. It should be your partner is consciously or subconsciously doing this, or if she'd want to change it. I think it's exactly what I just said a second ago. She's suffering from some type of trauma stemming back to some male role she had. Maybe her father, maybe a brother, maybe a past relationship. Some man in her past has traumatized her, maybe even sexually abused her or something like that. And this is the way that, she's learned how she feels it's supposed to be. She can't get off any other way. She gains pleasure from pain, is what she's trying to say. I'm curious about your second point about rough sex helping you separate emotion from the act itself. Would you mind explaining what you meant by that? Well, some people are so closed off emotionally. They're afraid to get hurt, and they're afraid to get attached emotionally, but they still want to get off through sex. These are the types of people that want to be completely dominated and almost like practically get hurt through sex and feel some pain, and they gain pleasure from pain. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. I'm not original poster, but I had the same problem. I had a lot of shame, anxiety around sex when I first started having it. So rough, overstimulating sex was the only way I could stay mentally in the moment without my brain running off. There you go. Same thing I was saying in different words. And for everyone but women especially, if our mind's not there, sex doesn't work. Right. If a woman's mind is not there, she's like a dead fish just sitting there, right? What good's that going to do for you guys? Nothing. I could ignore, push down anxiety and fear and stress by having the aggressiveness force me to focus by sheer physical input. And it helped me turn the bad emotions of anxiety into a feeling of adrenaline and excitement. Yeah, but you're masking the underlying issue there. A lot of men and women will use sex to mask the pain of an underlying issue. And that's why these types of relationships never work, because you're masking the problem by using sex. It's just like masking the problem by using alcohol or drugs or whatever, right? You got to fix the underlying issue first before you can show up being yourself and have the best shot of having a happy and healthy relationship. After lots of patience from my partner, therapy, etc., I do love and enjoy lovemaking as well as rough sex. Good for you. Big round of applause for turning it around. Yeah. Big round of applause for turning it around. That's great. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right. Let's see. And we probably do that 80% do the time now. I think you meant to say of the time now. So you probably do that 80% of the time now. But it is a lot more emotional work still than just being tossed around or ordered to do things. Listen, if two people truly love each other with all their heart, they're going to want to emotionally bond. If you always have to have rough sex in your relationship, then you're really not into that person, or you're not in a good enough place to be with anyone in that way. That's the truth of the matter. But good for you for getting the therapy and all, the support you needed to turn it around. That's awesome. I wish more people would get the help, or at least give a life coach like me a chance to help you turn your life around so you can have what you want and become a happier person. Let's see here. Let's see. Anna Rom says, there's lots of ways to get both done at the same time. I won't go into detail. Okay, that's cool, Anna. That's cool. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Babe, are you going to go to your darts, or are you calling it a night? Or you're probably on the way to darts, probably walking. I absolutely agree, love. We have great chemistry in the bedroom. We know exactly what each other needs. Well, babe, we have a good balance of rough and slow. And you and I have a very strong emotional bond, which I feel is the most what I'm trying to say is the emotional bond is one of the most important aspects that needs to be there in a relationship. Okay? If you don't have that emotional bond, then why are you with that man or woman, right? And, when you have that emotional bond, sex becomes more of an emotional act than a physical act. For me, sex is more emotional than physical. Yes, it's a physical act, but it allows me to express and release my emotions for the woman that I love and care for. And I think it's the same thing for you on the flip side. It is the same thing for women on the flip side. It is. Great point there, babe. Thank you so much for your comment there. All right. I keep thinking about the fact that I have a real Shure SM7B. That sounds normal compared to some others. Never mind. I'm getting off on a tangent there. On my way, love. All right, babe. Thank you for letting me know. Be safe. Be safe. Let's see. We are at 50 minutes. We're going to read one more comment, and then we're going to take our first break. Sure. Sex always has an emotional component in some form or fashion, I guess, but rough sex doesn't require that component to be good. I'd argue that slow burn sex does, because that is what makes the slow burn sex sexy. Right. Right. Absolutely right. Okay. If you're able to slow it down with someone, then it's more real. It's totally real. I think people fear commitment. They fear getting hurt. And they know that if you slow it down, it's more of an emotional bond. And a lot of people are trying to stop the emotional bond until they know for sure that they want it to go there. But see, you can't control that. You just gotta let things go. You gotta just put your guard down, let things go, and let things go where they're supposed to go naturally, right? You can't try to control it. The moment you try to control it, it's not going to work for either side. For me, rough sex was kind of a work alone together activity in that I focused on how my partner's body could get me where I wanted to be and vice versa for them. More of a selfish thing, right? I kept an eye on them, obviously, and communicated to make sure they were having fun and getting what they needed. But prioritizing where they were emotionally during and after was not a feature of rough sex for me. Yeah, so in essence, it wasn't really as fulfilling as you would have wanted it to be, right? During was about getting ourselves off in a mutually rewarding fashion, and aftercare was far more like good game, my dude, and not, I'm going to now verbalize my love for you in words. Having just done so with my body, why do you even have to express this? Like when I'm making love with my woman, having sex, whatever you want to call it, right? Like after I'm finished, she's finished, we just sit there and look at each other and we're like, wow. Wow. I mean, you don't even have to say any words. You're just like, wow. You sit there and you look at each other and you're like, without any words needed to be said, you just know you two are in ecstasy and you're going to have a great night's sleep and you're going to snuggle together and you're going to wake up together the next morning and maybe do it again or maybe just cuddle and just it's an amazing feeling without any words needed to be said or spoken. This demands a clear understanding of trust and respect with your partner, but those things are not equal to love, nor do those things require it. Why would you be with someone that you don't love? I mean, I would never be with a woman, that I don't love. I think some people just have commitment issues and they have unresolved traumatic issues that prevent them from allowing love to come in to their life. So they go into these things guarded. That's just my opinion. Should be a fact, but it's my opinion. To original poster, I wonder if they're feeling like this is a friend sex, but not love sex. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes women just want to have sex. And it's not that they see you as a friend, but they're just not looking for a commitment. They're just looking for something quick and simple for the night. There are women like that, just like there are men like that. And that their girlfriend doesn't want to do the love sex either because she really doesn't like it at all, possible. Or if she's not ready to be that vulnerable yet, also possible. That's what it is right there. She's not ready to be that vulnerable yet. Great way to end this posting here. Big round of applause. It is because one of the two sides is not ready to allow themselves to be vulnerable. They have a fear of commitment. They have a fear of getting hurt. They have unresolved trauma from the past, from their family, from their, past relationships, etc. It's unresolved trauma. Okay? And until they work through that, they're not going to be able to be vulnerable enough to be able to bond with you emotionally for it to be lovemaking. So they're going to just want to have rough, sex that's not emotionally bonding and with NSA. That's what they call it nowadays. NSA, no strings attached. All right, folks. All right. Let's go back to full screen here. Let's go back to full screen and cue up some royalty-free music and take our first break. Looky who's here. It is Gemma's Journey Grace in the house. Gemma, welcome to the show. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Hold on, Gemma Grace. Big round of applause. How you doing today, Gemma? How are you doing? I enhanced the sound of my microphone by touching one button on my audio interface, so hopefully it sounds good. My lady says it sounds good, so hopefully you think it does too. And thank you again for being here. Let's see. Anna Rom says, or they're with them out of convenience. Yes, yep. Another way to put it, Anna. Thanks for sharing. Gemma's Journey Grace says, hey, Eli. Hey, Gemma. Anna Rom says, Gemma with a big red heart. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, my lady's still walking on her way to darts. Hey, Gemma. Gemma's Journey Grace says, Anna. She also says, hey, RMP. And that is that. All right, folks. Let me cue up some royalty-free music. And step away for a little break before we come back for the second half of the show. Yeah. That's true. Let me see here. Where's that other song? There it is. And just need one more. Just need one more. All right, music is all queued up. I'm gonna step away for about a 8 or 9 minute break. When I get back, we're gonna head on over to the subreddit social skills, and the original poster there is discussing, does anyone else just not have the energy to make or maintain relationships, platonic or romantic, anymore? One more time. Does anyone else just not have the energy to make or maintain relationships, platonic or romantic, anymore? And last but not least, my lady is going to have to come back and watch this on the replay, because this will make sense to not her directly, but another family member or two. From the Purple Pill Debate subreddit, the original poster's topic is strategic pluralism. I can't even talk. Strategic pluralism, the scientific name for alpha fucks, beta bucks. One more time. Strategic pluralism, the scientific name for alpha fucks, beta bucks. That's what we're going to go to when we get back from the break. So stick around. Stick around. Round. We'll be right back. We're back. Welcome back, everybody. Energy up. Get that energy up. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Energy up. Let's do it. Yeah, baby, feel it. Feel it. Ooh. Yeah. This is great meditation music. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotta love it, gotta love it, gotta love it. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube, live on Coach Eli 2, uncensored live streams. Might as well just call this the Deuce. Coach Eli 2, the Deuce, right? The home or the future home of most, if not all, of my live streams. This channel is getting closer and closer to reaching monetization status. We are over 1K subs as of a few days ago. Thank you to everyone that supported this channel and subscribed here. We just need the watch time, and that should be, completed within the next maybe 3 weeks or so, maybe a month at the most. We'll have the watch time, and then this channel will be monetized. And once it is monetized, my Walking with Purpose live streams will move over from my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, to over here. And I'm going to focus more on some high quality, pre-recorded content over on that channel in the highest quality, 4K at 60 frames per second, more bite-sized type of consumable content, and also some YouTube shorts. We will do some occasional live streams over there, but most, if not all, the live streams will eventually move over here to Coach Eli 2, uncensored live streams. All right. Tonight, we have been doing another installment of dating advice. The topic of tonight's stream is attachment issues plus more dating advice. If you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay. We were discussing in the first part of the show from the subreddit dating_advice. Anyone else not able to hook up because they get attached and hurt? That was very interesting. You're going to want to go back and check that out if you missed it. And then after that, before the break, we went over to the subreddit relationships, and we discussed girlfriend 27F doesn't want me, 26M, to be romantic in bed. Just treat her roughly. And that was quite an interesting one. So go back and check out the replay if you missed those two. Before we get to the next of two more Reddit postings, let me check out the chat and say hello to some people here. Welcome to the show, Not So Nerdy Gaming, a.k.a. Will. How you doing, brother? Great to see you here. He says, hi, everyone. And I said, hey, Will, BRB. I was taking a little potty break there, Will, but thank you for sticking around. He says, okay. And Not So Nerdy Gaming says, I'm so worn out from work today. Yeah, I understand that, bro. I think what we need to do is we need to do some more business streams here on my channels, because I am also a business coach. I know I focus a lot more on dating relationships and marriage and stuff like that, but I do also do business coaching. And we need to talk more about preventing burnout, how to prevent burnout, and how to manage your time better. Like I mentioned in my earlier stream today, I was talking about, time management, the importance of time management in the modern world. That's over on my main channel. So check that out if you missed that. But we need to do more topics such as, how to survive in today's modern workforce, how to not get burnt out, how to not get fired for sexual harassment, how to not get fired, period, how to deal with a hostile work environment, etc. So if you folks want me to do those topics and we get a panel of people coming on at the same time, just let me know. If you're a moderator, you can let me know behind the scenes within the Coach Eli moderator group page on Facebook, or group chat on Facebook, or you can email me at Coach Eli. Anyone can email me at Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. That's Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. All right, let's get back to it. Let's go back over to the browser source. Where are you? Pop up. There you go. I don't want to see my little red background like this. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's turn it back. Come on. There we go. Yeah, sometimes open broadcast software has its little kinks, but I know the workaround. So, all right. This is from the subreddit social skills, something that many people lack nowadays, especially the millennials and the post-millennials. I've been really picking on the millennials a lot lately, but there's great reason to do so. And don't get me wrong, I love everyone, including the millennials and post-millennials. I just think you folks need a lot more help. I think you folks really need to dial in your social skills. It's not all of you. There are some millennials and post-millennials that do have good or great social skills, but most of your generation or the generations since the millennials are struggling with this. And that's what I'm here to help you folks with. So from the subreddit social skills, and the original poster's title is, does anyone else just not have the energy to make or maintain relationships, platonic or romantic, anymore? One more time, does anyone else just not have the energy to make or maintain relationships, platonic or romantic, anymore? Let's read what the poster wrote. For years, I made an effort to be friends with people or date people only to be constantly burned. Yeah, I've been through that myself. It actually happens to many people. And I also talked about this today on my former stream, or my previous stream, on my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, talking about, how to better manage your time, or how important is time management in the modern world. I think a lot of this has to do with both men and women working in the workforce and people working so many hours and people being so tired after work, just like Will was stating a second ago, that they don't have any energy to go and do anything afterwards. And, even if people want to date, and let's say, you've had a long day at work and then you decide to meet someone for a first date and it doesn't work out, and you feel like you had your time wasted, you may say, okay, screw it. It's just not worth it. I'm too tired after work, and I'm not just going to keep on meeting people that are going to waste more of my time and make me more tired than I already am. This is what's happening, right? So, yeah, the way the modern world is with both men and women working is what's basically causing people, to not have the energy required to make relationships, platonic or romantic, work. Yeah, and that's what it is, in my opinion. You tell me what you think. By December of 2021, my friends didn't want to hang out with me anymore due to them not being vaccinated, and the guy I was dating ended things with me by ghosting me, making me sick and tired of trying to make friends, and romantic partnerships. Another thing, maybe it was just a quick fling or temporary fix. Sometimes, two people get together, they may have good sex and they may get along, but, one side is feeling it more than the other, and it just ends up fizzling out. That's not a reason to give up, but I can understand why people would feel like giving up. Because when you invest your time in someone on top of everything else you're already doing, such as working, hanging around with family, other friends and stuff, when you take time away from your already overloaded and busy schedule in today's modern world, it sucks to be let down in any way. But you can't let that stop you from putting yourself back out there and finding someone better if you truly believe in relationships. So that's my advice on that. So I decided after watching videos of Emma Chamberlain as a means of comfort, she's another YouTuber out here, that I wanted to be alone for a long time despite how lonely I felt. So instead of, ma'am, you putting yourself back out there and having the mindset of, okay, I tried to date this guy. I liked him, but I guess he wasn't feeling the same. And after a month or so, it fizzled out. And because I just don't want to go through that again, I'm just going to take a break for a long time. I feel like I feel like being alone, even though I feel lonely, right? How contradicting does that sound? And guys, the women you meet nowadays are in this mood because, by the time you get to certain women, or many women nowadays, they've gone through many other guys, many other bad seeds, right? And so you guys have to understand that, and you can try to turn it around. Say, hey, look, I understand you're tired. I understand you've been through a lot, and I'm not going to push you to anything. I just think you seem pretty cool. And if you'd like to meet, briefly, for a walk at the park for a half an hour or an hour one day this week, and just see what happens, that'd be nice. I'm not expecting anything. If nothing comes out of it, we had a nice walk and we both got some exercise. But what if we meet and it goes somewhere? But hey, let me know. You think about it and you let me know, right? And then you just, put her off to the back burner and go talk to some other people. She may think about it and get back to you the next day and say, hey, let's meet today, right? So that's how you handle those situations, because everybody goes through things, and everybody that goes through a bad date or two is going to feel like giving up, but they really don't want to give up. They just want to meet someone that's going to make them feel like it's worth their time, right? That's all it is. That's all it boils down to, okay? I got used to it, and now I have no energy to try to maintain/make relationships of either kind. It makes me sad in the way that I've changed into this, but I can't help but be this way now. Well, that's a temporary feeling, man. You are just, you're going through a rough time. You've had a few bad dates, maybe 2 or 3 dates, and you feel defeated, right? Maybe you need a little time to yourself. Maybe take a month or 2 or 3 off and then put yourself back out there. But don't take a year or 2 or 3 off and give up that many years of your life. I'm assuming you're probably in your 20s. You don't want to give up your entire 20s to mope, and then you wake up in your 30s. Now your biological clock is ticking and you're dealing with another issue, trying to find a guy that you're attracted to that's going to want to settle down with you and have a family. Trust me, you don't want to waste time, but I get it. I understand what's happening here, and those are my thoughts. All right, let me check out the chat here real quick before we read some comments. Not So Nerdy Gaming Will says, exactly, I don't want to do anything else after work at all. Yeah, Will, we've all been through that. Like, we're all guys, and, any normal guy loves women and loves sex and all that, but there are times, even for us guys, after work, we're so tired, like we just want to be alone and veg out. And that has a lot to do with the way the modern world is. Inflation's gone up, right? And it's much harder to get decent jobs nowadays. And women are working. So it's hard enough to, balance the time. Even if you're in a relationship, it's hard enough to find someone that's willing to balance their time along with yours to make something happen on top of everything else you both have going on. I get it, man. It's not easy, man. But you know what? Just keep pushing forward, and eventually it will all fall into place. That's all I have to say. We all go through it. You folks are not alone. We all go through these types of things. I mean, we all go through these types of things. I've been through it, and I've pushed through it, and I'm in a much better spot today. I've got a great woman. I'm running a great business out here on YouTube, and it just falls into place. Just keep pushing forward. Don't give up on yourself. And if you need to take a day or two to recoup, no problem. Will, you're going to rest probably all night tonight and most of tomorrow, and you'll be recovered within a day or two. I have faith in you, brother. All right. Let's read some comments here from this posting. This could be a trauma response and possibly depression based on what I'm reading. I can relate since I've grown to have an inherent distrust and dislike of people based on my experiences. Maybe there are people who would accept me, but it's just not worth the potential hurt compared to doing things by myself and being happy with that. I think this has a lot to do with the incredible amount of pressure the modern world has put on both men and women nowadays, with women working. And people have much less free time now than ever before because of what I just mentioned. Both men and women are working. Plus, we have smartphones that are distracting us all day, every day. We are overloaded with information. We are overloaded with things to do. We are too connected to the point of where we just don't have any time for ourselves to breathe. And folks, honestly, there's nothing better than having some alone time by yourself to, replenish the mind, body, and soul. So that's what it boils down to, in my opinion. The original poster responds in the comments section by saying, honestly, it could be that. The guy who ghosted me was a huge shock to my system, and I felt numb inside for a month or so afterwards. My friends who I wanted to rely on in times of grief basically ditched me over vaccinations. That's a bullshit thing. They ditched you because they were overloaded with their own things to do, and that was their excuse. And it makes me so sad that I'm like this because I made a new friend in February, and she genuinely wants to be my friend. I want to be her friend too, as she's a lovely and really cool person, but I find it so hard to message her and tell her things about my life. It really sucks because you don't know her as long as you've known your other friends that aren't around as often anymore. And this is something that happens to everybody, folks, as you get older. Once you graduate high school and go to college, once you hit like your mid-20s, most of your friends are going to go away for college. And if they don't go away for college, once they're done with college, they're going to get married, they're going to start their own families, and they're going to have more things to focus on. And that's going to take up more time than before, which means less time for you. And the way you handle those situations is that you continue to make new friends and you hang out with your friends when they're around and when you're around. And when they're not around, you do other things. You load yourself up with so many things to do, with so many different people that, hey, if your main friends can't hang out, you have something else to do, right? If you're dependent on one group of friends that stems back to your high school days or grammar school days or college days, then you're going to be lonely because most people are going to flake all the time, not because they want to, because they have other things going on in life. And as people get older, life gets more and more busy and people's responsibilities become greater. So, I think these people here are in their early to mid 20s and they haven't learned that yet, but they will. We've all been through that. Let's see here. Not so nerdy gaming, but I'm pushing through it every day. Well, good for you, Will. Big round of applause for pushing through it, brother! Big round of applause. Good for you, Will. Good for you. My lady's still here. I've got a great man, says respectfully, maturely, and professionally. What made you feel like saying that, babe? I thought you were at darts. Are you like so invested into the show here and what we've got that you can't stay away from the show, baby? I'm proud of you, baby. You do you. Like, here's a woman that, is supposed to be spending time with her friends and this and that, and she keeps checking in on her man because she's so happy. Like, I'm just letting her go do her thing. I trust her. I wanted to go have fun with her friends, and I'm doing my thing, but here she is. You do you, baby. Come and go as you wish. I'm not the kind of guy that feels the need to have a leash on any woman. I don't think guys should have a leash on a woman. You should let your woman come and go as she wishes and see what she does. And if she comes to you more often without you having to put a leash on her, then she's really into you. That's why I really believe in this woman. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Not So Nerdy Game said, hey, RMP. You know what? We have to have like a Coach Eli moderator group chat conference call really soon behind the scenes and strategize some things. I'll share more about that with the mods behind the scenes when possible this week. We are at 1 hour and 28 minutes. All right, let's read a few more comments here. I'm not sure what I could say to help, but I'm in an identical situation. Sorry. My ex-fiance ghosted me as well when we broke up, and then after that, the pandemic happened, and my friends at the time not only didn't get the vax, but just sent inflammatory memes to the group chat about triggering libtards. So that didn't work out for us. I'm really tired of people using derogatory words like that. I don't judge people based on their political party preference, but it just seems like a lot of the anti-vaxxers were from the right or the far right extremists, or the more of the anti-vaxxers were the Trump supporters known as the alt-right, the alternative right, and they're not even real conservatives in my opinion. I feel that between the way my ex changed as a person and the way our society has handled itself has basically changed the way I view people and civic participation in a really negative way. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's what's happening nowadays. A lot of it has to do with social media, the social stigma, through the mainstream media, smartphones. We have so much information at our fingertips. It's a crazy world we all live in nowadays. My one kernel of advice is to go on meetup.com. It's a great place. I used to use meetup.com to run my business networking events years ago. And there's a different type of meetup for every type of genre all over the world. My one kernel of advice is to go on meetup.com, which is basically clubs for adults where you can find like-minded people from the get-go to practice being around. Yeah, and you might find your true love by joining a group regarding something that you love and something that other people of the opposite sex love too. Or you can even make some same-sex friends too. I'm getting hopeful that I can still build something despite all this shit, because I can recognize when someone is truly kind, and it just takes a couple of those people to fill your life. P.S. You look like Scarlett Johansson. Well, where's her picture? This person showed a picture. Sorry, I had to get a sip of my drink. Yeah, I don't see a picture to be able to tell if she looks like Scarlett Johansson. All right, the next message here is responding to part of someone else's comment. I find it hard to message her. I struggle with this a fair bit too, but just wanted to share some optimism that it does get easier. With almost all things in life, if you keep doing it, it gets easier. Like I've always said, and through the words of the great Coach Corey Wayne, repetition is the mother of skill. Let me repeat that one more time. Repetition is the mother of skill. So sometimes sending a message will be impossible. It is too daunting. You can't see the point. Whatever. But when you feel that today it is a little less hard, try your best to do it. Hopefully next time comes easier. What this person is saying here is that don't give up. Keep trying. And every time you try, you're going to learn a little more, and you're going to get a little bit better at doing whatever it is you're trying to accomplish every single time. You're going to get a little bit better each and every time. And eventually you will master it, and you will be an expert at it, right? And just because you're an expert at something doesn't mean it's always going to pan out. But once you master something, in the future, anything you do regarding that thing you just mastered is going to have a greater chance of panning out for you. And it will pan out for you more so than not. So don't give up on yourself. I can relate to you in a lot of ways. Let me know if you want a female friend to message with here. All right, I'm going to read one more. Actually, two more. These are both really good. Yes, I'm a lonely, sad, and pathetic and completely disconnected old hermit who just cannot find the will to give of myself anymore. If you have made a friend and they reply to messages, then at some stage, send me plan a setting where you can have a deep and meaningful conversation. Once you do trust her with your emotions and let her know some history and fears, etc., open and honest communication is the key to everything we do as humans, or should be. And if someone rejects you because of it, then another lesson learned and bullet dodged. But until you do it, will really suck but until you do it, will really suck lots. However, if that's something you seek, then you must overcome your fears to get there. Lots of run-on sentences, but I'm reading this as best as possible. It does make sense, though. And don't put your walls up too high or nobody will ever get over them again. One more time. Don't put your walls up too high or nobody will ever get over them again. Big round of applause. Yeah. Amen. I could not have said it better myself. I could not have said it any better myself. Yeah, I mean, if your wall's too high, no one can get over it. Why even try if your walls are too high? It rhymes. Why even try if your walls are too high? Moderate fences, easy to change height. Then again, I'm going to die alone, so maybe don't listen to me, LOL. At least you're laughing about it. See, you said, then again, I'm going to die alone, so maybe don't listen to me, LOL. I think you're being sarcastic. You're going through something. You're realizing the world's not a fair place, and you're just making a funny out of it, so I get it. This guy's username is Wonko Abnormal. That's great, dude. At least you own it, man. That's great. All right. One more here, then I'll check out the chat before we go to the final posting. Learn to enjoy talking to strangers. Absolutely. That means brush up on your social skills. Okay? Open your personal doors slowly. Not just anyone deserves to get past them, and opening them too soon. Two is with two O's, T-O-O in that case, not T-O. Can scare people off if they haven't had a chance to decide if they want to go through. Okay? Yeah, you're going to give people the option, right? You want to have lots of options. Talk with lots of people because not everyone's going to pan out to be your friend or your lover, right? Have lots of options, right? And just be laid back. Let people come to you when they're ready. Just spread your wings, make people aware you exist, and let them come to you, okay? Opening too fast, again, two is T-O-O in that case, sir. Also builds the expectation around the relationship in your head and allows room for you to be disappointed and hurt when the reality is most people don't jive well enough with most other people to go through each other's doors. You can't force it. Lots of run-on sentences, but I get it. Just keep talking to strangers at a meetup where the strangers also came to talk to strangers, and eventually you will find a couple of people who you vibe with, and eventually you will find a significant other too. I have nothing to add to that. It makes perfect sense. Big, huge round of applause. Could not have said it any better myself, with the exception of some grammar and spelling and run-on sentences. Well said. Well said. All right. Let's go to the next one here, but we're going to check out the chat. This is the final one here. My lady's going to love this one. Hopefully she'll come back and watch the replay. Do. Okay, nobody chatting in the chat. No problem. All right, this final posting of the night is from the Purple Pill Debate subreddit. And the original poster's title is Strategic Pluralism, the scientific name for alpha fucks beta bucks. One more time. Strategic Pluralism, the scientific name for alpha fucks beta bucks. What does this mean? It means that the alpha males are the ones that are going to get the woman, get laid, and have a happy life. The woman will respect him, and he'll respect the woman. The beta bucks are the guys women settle for when they hit their early 30s or mid 30s, and they just got settled into their careers after going to college, and prolonging settling down so they can get their degree and get into their job and yada yada yada. I've said it before, right? And when they get to their early to mid 30s and they try to lock down the type of guy they want, those guys don't want women in their 30s. Those guys want women in their 20s. And so these women now have to settle for the beta males that are going to provide with the beta bucks, have the family with these guys, but these women really aren't that attracted to these guys physically, and these guys are very weak men. These guys are weaker than the women that are settling for them, and they end up having a family with these guys, and yada yada yada. And then next thing you know, these women cheat on these guys, and then they divorce them years down the road. So this is my take on just reading the title there. Let's read what the original poster wrote. Women desire a partner that is both physically attractive, indicating good genes, and willing to provide for her offspring. Unfortunately, men that have both these traits are in short supply. And humbly speaking, I feel I'm the best of both worlds. I don't think I'm the hottest guy in the world, but I feel I'm okay looking. I feel I'm an average, decent looking guy that not only looks decent, but I have a great personality. I'm not a beta male. I don't put women on a pedestal. I don't suck up to a woman. I'm not a thirsty guy. I'm a confident, down-to-earth guy that is a decent, down-to-earth guy that is good to a woman as long as she's good to me. But guys like me are in short supply. That's just the way it is. It typically goes one way or the other. All Chad, just wanting sex and nothing more, or all beta, makes the money, is okay looking, might be an okay lover, but has no spine of a man. So, yeah, if you can have the best of both worlds, that's the best way to do it, but it's in short supply, like the original poster wrote. Attractive men have options. They are more likely to have sexual relationships and produce offspring with multiple women. They won't be able to invest as much in each partner and each set of offspring. Women will have to compete with his other partners and their offspring for his resources and investment. Well, that's why, if you're a decent looking guy and you have a decent personality, okay, women are going to compete for you. Okay? And the majority of women are going to compete for you, right? That's why there are a lot of guys on the internet saying, I never get a date or any responses on the internet because, number one, your pictures suck, you're out of shape, you don't dress nice. And even if, and let's say you do dress nice and you are in shape, when you get to the phone with these women, you can't carry a conversation. You have no social skills. If you have social skills, you look decent, and you're a down-to-earth, confident guy, but you're not conceited. If you're well-balanced, you're going to have no problems eventually finding a good woman. With a less attractive man, a woman and their offspring may have his undivided attention and investment because he has no other partners. But there is a reason he is less attractive to women: worse genes. That's true. Researchers propose the theory of strategic pluralism to explain how women may seek to have the best of both worlds. The theory suggests that women evaluate men in two ways: as providers and as sperm donors. Women will establish stable, committed, long-term relationships with the providers, thereby securing his investment in her and any offspring she has, which he will presume to be his. Yeah, but do they respect the guy? And are they truly physically attracted to him? And is the sex good between them? Or is he just a sperm donor and a piggy bank donor? Women will be strongly sexually attracted to the sperm donors and seek out intercourse with them, including extra pair intercourse, if she is in a relationship. I get what you're saying here, but this is a weird way of putting it. The result is that she may be able to secure a genetic contribution for her offspring from a man with good genes. This man may not be willing to invest much or at all in her and their biological offspring, but she has secured another man as a provider, her long-term partner, who will invest in them because he mistakenly presumes that they are his own. This is what is often referred to as a dual mating strategy. Well, again, I don't like the way this was written here. In my opinion, there are two different types of men. There are the alpha males, which many of them just want to have sex and not commit. But then there are alpha males like me that want the commitment, and we're good guys that are respectful. We have self-respect, but we also respect the woman that we're with. We take care of ourselves. We smell good. We look good. We have great social skills. We're great lovers. and we're a well-balanced guy. And I think that's what most women really want there. And then there are the beta males, which are called beta bucks. Alpha fucks, beta bucks, right? Okay, the beta bucks are the complete other side of the spectrum, where these are guys that lack social skills, they lack self-confidence, they lack self-respect, right? But they make good money, and they look decent looking enough, and they dress nice and smell nice, and like I said, make good money. And that's what the women like about these guys, but they're just not attracted to the guy's personality. They don't trust the guy's masculine core. They don't feel the guy has a spine. The woman feels like she can step all over the guy, right? So, but a lot of women settle for these guys, which is what I'm trying to say, because women wait until their early to mid 30s to start settling down nowadays, which is what I'm trying to say. And what ends up happening is the guys that they want don't want them anymore, so they have to settle for these beta bucks guys. That's what I think is happening here. Now, I'm going to read a few comments here, then we're going to wrap this up. We are at 1 hour and 45 minutes. Hey, Will. And babe, this is something. I see you're still here. I'm surprised you're still here. You must be really bored at your event there. Tomorrow night, babe, we can talk about this if you'd like. We'll talk more about it privately tonight and decide what we do. But this is something that, you know, I feel your little girl is going through with her man. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I want everyone to be happy, and I want your little girl and you know, your future son-in-law to be happy. But you know, if there aren't some changes made within that relationship, you know, it's just not going to fare well based on what I've seen. But I really hope it does pan out. But knowing how things are nowadays and just knowing the story, I'm going to leave it at that. We'll possibly talk more about that tomorrow. But anyway, I mean, I've heard situations like this before, and the husband killed them all when he found out his wife cheated, his kids weren't his. Well, yeah, that's pretty messed up. I wouldn't go as far as killing anyone if that happened to me. I just would never let it happen to me. I would never be with a woman that lacked so much integrity to the point of where she would ever do something like this. You can tell a woman's integrity if you get to know her before you decide to marry her. Trust me, women will give you clues on their integrity, you know, long before you marry them. Unless you miss the clues, then, you know, you'll be able to figure it out beforehand. There was a Reddit thread recently where a guy found his wife cheated when they first got married and his teenage kids aren't his. That really sucks. That poor soul. And you know what? I'm going to wrap it up right there because this is way too long. But we all get the point there. I think the original poster wrote enough, and I shared my thoughts on it enough to the point of where I'm not going to drag this on here and say the same thing over and over and over again. That's all that's going to be said here. It's the same thing. There's really not more value to bring to this posting. So that's going to wrap it up for the show tonight, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. We are at 1 hour and 47 minutes. Rosie Wren, the queen of YouTube. Hey, brother. Hey, girl. What's going on? You just popped on in right when I'm about to go off the air, but thank you for stopping by. All right, folks. Let's go back to full screen here. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a Walking with Purpose stream probably around the same time as I did today, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, maybe a little bit sooner. And then more than likely tomorrow night, well, my lady in the chat says, hey, Rosie, respectfully, maturely, and professionally says, hey, Rosie, cool. Tomorrow night, more than likely, my lady will be going live at around 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams. And we're going to talk more than likely about what's been going on with her daughter and stuff, for example, purposes. And I'll tell you, my lady's just been really understanding lately, and she's become stronger, and things are turning around. And I'm really so proud to share her story and have her share her story because it's just really nice when you see someone turning their life around in real time when, they thought their life was going into shambles. I'm really proud of you, babe. I'm really proud of how far you've come based on what you've been through. And honestly, you've never played the role of the victim. And, you've been a survivor. You've been really strong throughout all of this. I don't know how you did it, but you've done it. And, your story is unlike anything I've heard. I mean, yes, I've heard some stories and people go through this, but it's just amazing. So, all right. So I'll update you folks tomorrow if we're going to do that stream while I'm on my walking stream around 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas. With that being said, have yourselves a great night. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye. And as always, be good to each other.